Today we're going to be working on section 2.5, which is the distributive property. Please notice that I have two things written on the board, A times the quantity B plus C, which means that A times B plus A times C. And I also have A times the quantity B minus C. So you're going to take A times B to be AB, and A times a negative C, which gives us this minus A times C. So you have to be careful about negative signs when you're doing your distributing. Let's go through and do a little distributing on each of these. If you want to take a moment and do these yourself and see if you know what you're doing, you can stop the video right now. Otherwise, I'm going to start going through these. We're going to take 3 times the x and 3 times 6. So technically that means 3 times x plus 3 times 6, which is 3x plus 18. Hopefully you're able to go straight to that 3x plus 18. On the next problem, we're taking the n and multiplying it by both terms that are inside the parentheses. And yes, it's on the right-hand side, and that's okay. We can still distribute it from the right. So n times n times n plus 5n. Well, n times n is n squared. Be careful there that you know that n times n is n squared, not 2 times n. So on this next problem here, y times y, there's our y squared, y times a negative 12, a negative 12y. And the last problem, we're distributing from the right-hand side in. 9 times 8 is 72 minus 9x. Now, if you want to write that as negative 9x plus 72, you sure can. Just be careful that the negative sign stays with the 9x. Here are a few more. Pulling in some negatives to distribute. Again, if you would like to try these yourself, stop the video. We will be distributing the negative 4 from the right-hand side. So that's a negative 4 times y, and also negative 4 times negative 2. So that ends up with negative 4y plus 8. Be careful that you have double negatives there. You have to make that addition. Negative 5x times 4 minus x gives us a negative 20x. And then negative 5x times the negative x, negative times negative is a positive, and we'll have 5x squared. If you want to write that as 5x squared minus 20x, you sure can. Make sure that you are taking the negative sign along with the 20x. This last problem, what is that? Outside the parentheses. It's a negative sign. What number does that mean? It means that this is a negative 1 out there. So you're distributing a negative 1 to both numbers inside the parentheses. That gives us a negative 3y and a positive 9. Notice that the signs flip on that problem when we distribute the negative. When you distribute a negative 1, what happens to the signs in the parentheses? All of the signs flip. Okay, they become the opposite sign. A lot of information on this screen. We have an expression, negative x plus 2x plus 8. And in that expression, there are terms, negative 8 and 2x and 8 are all the terms. So negative x, 2x, and 8 are all terms. The coefficients are the numbers that are in front of the variables. So the coefficient is a negative 1, which is in front of the x, and a 2, which is in front of the other x. Constant terms are number parts that have no variable part. And in this particular problem, that is our 8. Like terms, terms that have the same variable to the same power. Our like terms are negative x and 2x. On your homework today, you'll have to be able to tell me what the terms of the expression are, what the coefficients are, what the constant terms are, and what the like terms are. So let's do a problem like that. We have the expression negative 2x minus 8 plus 6x plus 5. If you want to try yourself these four things, stop the video right now and then come back in. The terms are, remember, separated by addition signs. So it's negative 2x. This minus sign that's in front of the 8 really is plus a negative 8. So we're going to say negative 8 is our next term. Then 6x and 5. Looking at the like terms, we want the terms that have the same variables to the same powers. So negative 2x and 6x have the same variable to the same power. And negative 8 and 5 have the same, are the like terms because they don't have any variable at all. Coefficients are the numbers that are in front of the variables. So that's our negative 2 and 6. That are in front of our like terms, negative 2x and 6x. And the constant terms have no variables at all, negative 8 and 5. Combining like terms, you're going to add their coefficients and keep the common variable. Which expression is equivalent to the expression I have up here? Well, first of all, you want to get rid of your grouping symbols. So we're going to do a little distributive property on this. So we have 6x plus 18 minus 16 minus 2x. Add your like terms together. That's 6x and that negative 2x are alike, so we have 4x. And then we have 18 minus 16 gives us a positive 2. So we're looking at the answer to be A. Let's try a couple more distributive where when you look at the problem 8 plus 2 times the quantity 3x minus 5, some students' first thought is to add the 8 and the 2 together. You may not do that. Your first thing is to get rid of the grouping symbols. So you need to distribute the 2 inside the parentheses first. So it's 8 plus 6x minus 10. And now we get to add like terms together. 8 and negative 10 gives us a negative 2 plus 6x. And there is our final expression. On the second one, you will be distributing a negative 1 inside the parentheses. So we'll have 7x minus 5 plus 2x. Add your like terms, 7x and 2x. Give you 9x minus 5, and you just simplified your expression. I will want you to do some problems on this piece of paper that I have up here next. I would suggest that you work out the problems that I have not blanked out. The answers will be on the next screen, so you can just pause the video so that you can work through these problems. These are sample problems, similar to what you're going to see in your homework. I'm going to show you the answers next. And here are the answers for you to be able to check. If you have any questions, please make sure that you stop in and see me. Have a good night.